Let me tell you why the Sony 85mm is a lens that I think you should have in your camera bag this year. So honestly, if you're new and you don't know who I am, I actually used to previously use Canon. I was a strictly Canon guy. I used to love Canon. So I just recently did the switch over from Canon to Sony. I'm now recording on a Sony a7S III and I had no lens for it. So I didn't really know anything about Sony lens. I didn't know what's a good lens. I didn't know what's a cheap lens. I didn't know anything. So as I started doing research and trying to figure out what I thought would be the best lens for me and for my needs, which is primarily videography work, I happened to stumble upon a lens by the Sony 85mm f1.8. Now again, not knowing anything about Sony, I didn't know how expensive full-frame Sony lenses were, especially the G Master lineup, which is what I'm recording on now, 24mm G Master, which I love it and I'm going to make a video on later. Then I found the 85mm and I found out that they had a G Master version, but I wasn't really understanding what was the significant difference between a $1,200 lens and a little, what I actually paid, $384 lens. And this little lens, honestly, it's not a G Master. Let's make that straight. But for what I need it for and for what I use it for, it is ridiculously sharp. And the autofocus on this, one thing that I did see, because I also was going to get a 50mm G Master, but they were saying that, not G Master, a 50mm f1.8, but they were saying the autofocus for video is just completely bad. So with this one though, I heard that Sony updated the autofocus system on it, and for my needs, it works very, very good. Like the autofocus, it's not as good as a G Master, but for what I use it for, it's good because 9 times out of 10, I can't get all my shots on the 85. It's just not gonna happen. But when I do put it on, it doesn't disappoint me. And like just the photo side of it, the video side of it, for $384 I paid, this is something you should honestly get. You really should. It doesn't hurt to have it. You're not spending $1,200 on a G Master lens. You're not gonna break the bank and spend $2,000 on a 20-40-70. It's really, really good for what it is. When I was looking for lenses to buy, ultimately I knew I wanted a 50 and a 24. But then I stumbled across the 85. But then I heard about an 85 G Master. And like I said, I didn't really know the difference between a G Master and just this normal lens, the 1.8. I didn't know too much of a difference. I didn't know why the G Master lineup was significantly more expensive. Now for me, I'm not an 85 guy. I never was an 85 guy. I never thought I would be an 85 guy. But after buying this, I'm officially saying that I'm an 85 guy. I primarily love the 50. Nifty 50 is always going to be in my heart, especially the 50mm G Master. That is just, wow, that is just beautiful. But I wanted to know, is there a significant difference for me to spend $1,200 on a G Master or $398, what I paid for this, for a f1.8? Yeah, the G Master has the f1.4, this is the f1.8, but for my video work and for my needs, the f1.8 works just as fine because if you're a videographer, you're not going to be able to use an 85 for every single shot. So when in doubt, I don't really need the f1.4 for this lens at least because I'm primarily shooting on the 24 or the 50, which has a f1.4, I think, the G Master? Yeah, 1.4. Sorry, I'm new to Sony, don't crucify me. Overall, I was just really impressed by how sharp the photos this thing takes, how sharp the images look on the videos, how just nice the compression is, how just beautiful the bokeh balls, circle balls, the balls that everybody likes, the only balls that us filmmakers like. Overall, it's something that honestly, I think, even if you need it for professional work, you could, I don't know though, because the G Master is something different. I will say this though, if this is all you have in your camera bag, and you're on like a professional shoot and you pull this out, you can most definitely get away with using it. Now for honestly, even if you want to do the whole film on this, you could really get away with it. Like it is just that good. The 85mm f1.8 honestly is a really, really good lens. It is so versatile. You can get so creative. It just gives you that perspective in filmmaking that you can't get with a 24 or you can't get with a 50mm lens. It just gives you a whole different point of view. It just makes the viewer feel more just up close and personal. It just gives you that experience. It just creates that story. It just draws that emotion that you're not gonna get with a 24 and you're not gonna get with a 50. It's just something about 85 for me that honestly, I plan on keeping this in my camera bag for a while. I don't plan on getting rid of this unless one day I eventually decide to like upgrade to the G Master. If I just got money just to blow like that and I want to just upgrade, then I might. But as of right now, new to Sony, Still getting used to how Sony works. I like it. I like it for what it produces for me and for my workflow and for my needs. This is really good, and I don't see a reason for me to upgrade. Now, one thing I can say about this lens that I wish it did have, but that's why you gotta buy the G Master, it doesn't have the aperture ring on the lens like the G Master lineup does. That's a bummer, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. But I personally do prefer the aperture ring to be on the lens. It just makes it so much quicker and so much easier. But on this lens, it does have the manual focus, the autofocus button, and it has your big squishy button right here. Please don't crucify me. Again, I am new to Sony. I still don't understand what this is. Someone leave it in a comment for me what this is, and just don't crucify me, all right? Canon don't have this. But yeah, honestly, Sony just, man, they did good with this. They looked out for the beginners. They looked out for the people who are just now getting into videography, just now getting into photography. I know that the 85 is primarily like a go-to for photographers, but I'm telling you, filmmakers, videographers, cinematographers, you should pick up 85. It won't disappoint you. It'll nail everything you need it to do for the price point. For the price point. You gotta realize it's for the price point. But that's it for today's video. I didn't want to get too into detail. I didn't want to get too into, I didn't want to drag this video, go on and on and on. I just want to make a quick video explaining why I think you should pick up an 85mm, show you images of the quality it produces, and just getting straight to the point, rather than making a long 10-minute video and putting a bunch of ads in the video. I don't want to do all that. I didn't got no subscribers to do all that, so you should subscribe so I can hit 1,000 subscribers so I can put ads in my videos. I'm just messing around. But anyways, if you like the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, this channel is all about filmmaking, short films, tech review, gear, whatever you want. If you just like me, just subscribe just for liking me, honestly. Just like me. Just subscribe, go ahead and do it. Abiantu, buongiorno.